lesson on emails. I'm just going to pull the slideshow now. All right, so today our lesson is on emails. So first we have to know what is an email. So you probably know about mail. Mail is a way of sending messages through letters to other people. An email stands for electronic mail. And what email does is it lets you send normal letters online. The letters are stored on the internet, in the cloud. That it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter how they're stored. What matters is that you can access them through Gmail, which is what we'll be doing, which is what we'll be going over next. Emails get sent to email addresses, which is how you identify yourself online. It's basically your name, but for email. And another part of email is that it is instantaneous. Once you write it and send it to the person you want to send it to, they can read it right then and there. So next, what is Gmail? Gmail is one platform to send emails on. It is an app like Google Drive that is used to do a certain task. This task being sending emails. There are other ways to send emails. There are platforms such as Hotmail or Outlook, which you can use by other companies. For today, though, we will be using Gmail. Gmail, in my opinion, is convenient, and you can use it for a lot of things, like making accounts for other websites. Enough of what emails are, though. We have to learn how to write them and how to get to them. So, first we need to know how to access Gmail. So what I want you to do is open up a new tab, press this plus button up here. We've done this before. Now, what I want you to do is you'll see, if you're not signed in yet, then you will see a sign in button here. You'll press sign in, and it will show all of your accounts. I already have an account here, but if you don't have an account yet, then you can review my video on making Google Drive. For now though, a brief refresher, you will see a screen like this, and you will want to type in your email address, and then type in your password. So I'm just going to automatically sign back into my email. This is taking a while because of lag. Second. All right, if you could edit that part out, that'd be good. All right, but anyways, I might just record this myself. Anyways, so back to the stream, back to the lesson. So what you want to do is open up a new tab, as I've shown you before. And if you're not signed in, then it will show you this screen. Now I've already went over how to sign in, so we won't need to go over that in detail. But just as a brief refresher, if you press use another account, then type in your email address, this is mine, and then type in your password, then you will be signed into your email. So now, once you open a new tab, as I've shown, you can see in the top right, there's a little bit that says Gmail. You want to click that, and that will take you to your Gmail. So, and that will take you to your Gmail. So now, in order to write an email, we need to figure out how to send one. So the way that you start an email is by going to the top left here and pressing compose. It has a big plus sign here, and it says compose. So you press that, and this is what will pop up. So now you can see a part that says to, subject, and this section. For here, we won't need to worry about these two signs. We just need to worry about this. So first, who are we sending the message to? As I said before, your email address is basically your name online. And you will type in the person who you want to send it to's email address in this section. I'm just going to put in the CCWAA email address so that I don't have to reveal any of my family's email addresses. But yeah, once you type it in, it will show up here in this circle. If you hover your mouse over it, then you will see this pop up. It will show their email address and their icon. You don't need to worry about that. All you need to worry about now is the rest of the email. So first, we need to get the subject. So the subject of an email tells you what the email is about. For example, if you're asking a friend about a recipe that they've told you about, then you can type in recipe. If you're asking your kids about how their life is going, or how their job is going, or about a recent promotion that they had, then you could type in promotion or check-in. The main thing about a subject is that it has to be short, but it has to tell whoever you're sending it to what the email is about. For this one, I'm just going to write recipe. You could also write thank you, but I'm just going to write recipe. Next is typing the email. You would type in an email the same way that you would type in a Google document. You type letters here, and it, again, functions the same way as a document would. I already have an email to be sent here, but you would need to type your own email in. But I'm just going to enter the email in here, and this is what you will see. So there's a lot of parts of an email. It might look a little scary at first, but it's simple once you get to know it. So first, you want to start it off with a greeting. Now, what is a greeting? A greeting is what leads the reader into an email. I have written Dear William because in this email, William is one of my friends. There are a lot of different ways you can start an email. First, you could use Dear. You would normally use Dear when you are writing to your loved ones, your friends and family, or someone you just know really well in general. You could also use good morning or good afternoon. You would normally, good morning and good afternoon can be used in almost any situation. You could send it in a formal setting to a boss if you have one, or you could send it to, or you could use it if you're sending it to a government official. Good morning and good afternoon are generally good starters to an email. There's also salutations. This normally would never be used in an email. Normally, if you were to use salutations in a letter, then you would be sending them a physical letter, because salutations is considered as too formal by most people in an email. The last greeting that I want to go over is hi or hello. Hello would almost never be used because it is too formal to, it is mostly too formal to be sent to a friend, and it is too informal to send to a boss or in a formal setting. However, hi can be used as a simple email starter to be used with a friend or even a loved one. For now though, we're just going to stick with dear. Inside of your email is going to be a few more things. We have the body paragraphs and the conclusion. Of course, first we're going to go over the body. The body of your email is where most of the things in your email are going to be. It's separated into different topics, meaning that one paragraph is about another thing. Then you press enter, and then this next paragraph will be another thing. As you can see, the first paragraph I wrote is talking about a recipe that William showed me last Tuesday, my suggestions on it, and my general feedback. The second paragraph is about me asking William when he has time to cook the recipe with me. Each paragraph has its own purpose. Of course, there's a few things in each paragraph that should be explained. So one thing that we have here is, I'm just going to full screen, but one thing that we have here is the apostrophe. So the apostrophe is located right next to the enter key on your keyboard. If I enter here, then you will be able to see this small symbol. It's a little bit hard to notice, but what an apostrophe is used for is either to replace missing letters or to indicate ownership. That might sound complicated right now. Don't worry, I will explain it. So an apostrophe can be used to replace letters, but how does this work? Well, if you want to write I will, then instead you can write I apostrophe LL. In this case, the apostrophe replaces the W, I, and space of will. I will gets turned into I'll. Cannot gets turned into can't. And I did, or I would turns into I'd. Normally, you would not use an apostrophe in this way in a formal setting, but if you are talking to your friends, family, or loved ones, then you can use an apostrophe to replace letters. The other way to use an apostrophe is to indicate ownership. For example, if Bob has a car And you could call the car Bob's car. In this case, Bob owns the car. And because he owns the car, there is an apostrophe and an S in the name. If you were to write it without the apostrophe, then it would be Bob's and car. Multiple Bobs, 2 or more Bobs, and 1 car. It would not mean the same thing as this version of Bob's car with an apostrophe, the car belonging to Bob. If you put the apostrophe between the word and the S, then that means there is 1 Bob or 1 person who owns it. However, if you put it after the S, it has a different meaning. Putting the apostrophe after the S means that there is multiple children. Children's toys is different from children's toys. In this case, the apostrophe would replace the sound of an ES, but not the meaning of an ES. The S in children's means that there is multiple children. But with just children's and not children's, with children's and not children's, children's is just 1 child. So instead of children's, it would be child's toys. Children's toys, child's toys. One is plural, meaning that there are multiple children. One is singular, there's just 1 child. Anyways, that is a short lesson on the apostrophe. Next, we want to go over paragraphs. Paragraphs are short blocks of texts that have 1 message in them. When you are writing a paragraph, the length can change. The length of a paragraph is not always the same. Because this is a short email, the paragraphs are short. But one thing that all paragraphs have is a topic sentence. Thank you for the recipe you showed me last Tuesday. That is the topic sentence because this paragraph is talking about the recipe that you showed me. I enjoyed making this dish a lot, so I want to know if you have any time this Sunday to try making it together. This paragraph is about me asking William if he has any time this Sunday to make the dish with me. And then I explain why I want to make the dish with him later in the paragraph. In any case, the general way that a paragraph works is that it will have the topic sentence, which tells you what the paragraph is about. And then it will have body sentences to tell you why you have the topic sentence. You talk about why your topic sentence matters or why it's included. You can also just have other things that relate to the topic sentence inside of your paragraph. Because this is an email and not an argument, your body sentences will just generally elaborate on your topic sentence and tell a little bit more about it. Now, if you're watching, then you might notice some other pieces of punctuation. This is an exclamation mark. It's generally used to indicate speaking loudly or excitedly. Writing down, I have a peanut is different from writing down, I have a peanut. Or, I have a peanut. Punctuation tells you how you are saying a sentence. We've gone over the period, which ends a sentence, and an exclamation mark, which tells you that they're saying it excitedly or exclaiming it. There is also the question mark. A question mark is fittingly used when you are asking a question. But instead of just writing a question mark at the end of the sentence, you also have to put a word in front of the sentence to ask a question. Don't ask me why this is the case, because I don't really know. But it's the way that English works, and I'm the teacher here. So, depending on what the question is, you can have a different word in front of it. For this one, it is a fairly simple question, so I would put down, do I have a peanut? The reason that I put the word do in front here is because I can flip around the word do and the word I to change the question into a statement. Do I have a peanut turns into I do have a peanut. You normally wouldn't say I do have a peanut. You would just say I have a peanut. But I have do in the sentence to show how you can reverse these two words. Anyways, next we are going to talk about a conclusion. So once you have your body paragraphs in your email, you want to do a little bit of a conclusion. Because you are just writing it to a friend in this case, in this example, the conclusion can be short. I hope to see you soon. One sentence, done. However, it can be longer, but generally you won't be writing those kinds of emails. Now, the last part is the end. Best wishes, Edward. There's a lot of different ways you can end an email. You could use the word from, but from is generally considered to be weak because it doesn't have any sort of emotion behind it. You could also put in sincerely. If you're writing to ask about how someone's life is going, or just sharing your own thoughts and emotions with someone, then sincerely can be a good way of ending an email. It can also be good if you are asking for something from someone. Next, there is love. Love is fittingly used when you love the person who you are sending the email to. It could be with friends, a significant other, or a family member, or someone who you are just close with. It would not normally be used with students, co-workers, or bosses. Again, love is to be used with friends and family, mostly. There are exceptions to every rule in English, but this is the general rule. Next is best wishes. I've already showed you this one, but best wishes can be used in basically any email. If you are using it when you are asking for something, it can come across as rude because best wishes is generally considered to be best used when you are just telling them about yourself or asking about something. But if you're asking for a favor, then you might want to use a different one, such as sincerely. Again, though, best wishes is generally a safe suffix, a safe ending to use in any situation. Hope to see you soon. This one can be used in some situations. If you're asking about meeting someone or attending an event, then this is when you can use this. The reason that I did not use hope to see you soon is because I already have it here. Next is yours truly. This one is not generally used in letters because it comes across as self-important. It makes you look like you care too much about yourself. Yours truly would normally be used in a poem or in some sort of formal address, which means that you wouldn't need to use it that much. Thank you could be used if you are asking for a favor. It's somewhat self-explanatory. Thank you would be used in any other sense you would use thank you when you're asking for something, or if you are essentially saying please throughout your email. So the last thing I want to go over in terms of the ending is, or in terms of the email itself, is punctuation. Normally, everything in the email follows punctuation you would use anywhere else. But the beginning and end of an email have their own special type of punctuation. As you can see, I have written Dear William here with a comma. A comma is generally used to break up a sentence, but it does not end a sentence. We'll go over commas later, but for now, just know after a comma, the next word should not be capitalized. However, in a letter or any form of email, you have to start the email or letter with dear and then their name or position. Then the first sentence will have a capital letter in front of it. Once the email ends, you will put in the ending. In this case, I've used best wishes, and then a comma, and then your name. Then you will finally put in one last period to end the email. Okay, so once you've finished that, all you need to do is press this blue send button. Once you have pressed send, the person who you have sent the email to will instantly be able to read your email as soon as you send it. Anyways, I hope that this lesson was helpful, and I will see you again later.